Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes weekly webisodes. I'm Sara Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today we have a gorgeous collection of supplies. It's the Romance Forever set from our friends at Stamperia. And although the title says romance, I think the papers and the rub-ons and the chipboard elements are perfect for lots of different card-giving themes. So I'm going to move aside the chipboard package just for now, and we can take a closer look at our paper pack. So this is an 8 by 8 inch pack with 10 double-sided sheets inside, and you can see some of this gorgeous artwork in here. Beautiful soft color palette, lots of vintage ivory, roses, florals, faux texture, script. You've got some all over designs. You've got some cutouts, including this sheet that has a little mini envelope, and I'll show you how to use that. Some of the sheets also have a beautiful border accent on them too. There's a lot in here and a lot of different ways that you can combine these elements. Now with the cutouts, with some of them, you'll find on one side of the sheet, the cutouts will have sentiments and they'll be pretty heavily illustrated. On the other side, you'll have the same shapes that have room for personalization. So you've got some choices there. Really gorgeous and so easy to work with as well. Here's another one of those cutout sheets. Here we've got some sentiments that thank you, it's always you, love, and then on the other side we've got those same shapes with some room for your own messages on there. So this is our 8 by 8 paper pack. Now to go along, you've got two sets of rub-on transfers. You have Forever Roses and Forever Together. And these are just so much fun to use in combination with the pattern papers, and they work really beautifully on those cutout images too. So you will have instructions on the back for how to apply the rub-ons, but I'll also do a little demo for you so that you can see how easy they are to use. Now back to our chipboard die cuts. Well, there are 42 images in that little package that I whisked away, so I thought it would be easier for you to see them if I have them all spread out. So you can see you've got gorgeous floral designs, some corner treatments, got lots of pearl images, and these are really fun to add in as accents. You've also got some sentiments in here. Everything is totally coordinated, so of course you can use them for your cards on the front or on the inside of the card design. Now, it has been so much fun to put cards together using these supplies. I'm really excited to explore some of the possibilities with you today. I'm really glad that you're here with me, so come play with us. I wanted to start with this card design because I think it shows how easily and nicely these elements all come together, from our background papers to our rub-ons to the chipboard and our cutout accents from the paper pack. So starting with our card focal, I've got lots of layers going on here, lots of chipboard. In fact, I've got some floral clusters here underneath this envelope. Got a butterfly on the front and then two small flowers just tucked inside. Now this mini envelope, one of the cutouts from the paper pack, is a really great focal image and super easy to use as well. So I've cut this out just using my scissors, and all you need to do is just fold up those flaps. What I like to do is take a ruler or other straight edge and just use that to kind of get those edges folded up before I really crease them down. Now because I know I want to have my envelope open at the top, I only need to fold up 3 of those flaps. I'm going to take that bone folder and give that a nice crease, fold up the bottom, and then just secure that with some double-sided tape, and I'm ready to add it to the front of my card. So here what I've done is tucked in 2 small floral chipboard pieces, added that butterfly and a little bit of jute twine here on the front, and then I've layered this on top of 3 different floral clusters. I'm going to bring back in my display sheets here. I've used this flower, this one, and then this one here. So you might not think to put all 3 of them tucked underneath this envelope, but it really does create a nice layered focal image and really spotlights that mini envelope and our little butterfly on here too. Now for the background, I'm using two different pattern papers. I've got a light and a dark design here. So this is the light side, and I'm taking advantage of this faux lace and the texture on here in the script. And then I've added this really soft floral design on top. Now when I glued these down, before I did that, I inked along the center image here because I'm kind of splitting my card front in two, and I wanted to have some definition between the two of those designs. So I'm using my all-time favorite Midas Gold Pigment ink pad. Now this is a new ink pad for me. My other one was getting a little bit dry, so I got a new one, and this has been able to add some nice crisp definition and a little bit of metallic shine to my card design. Now I've got a light and a dark going on here, which creates some nice contrast. The dark is picking up the shades in this butterfly, and the light is really accenting some of the yellow of those beautiful flower images on there too. Now I have a border strip going along the edge, and this is a rub-on applied to pattern paper, which I then inked and then just glued down. And I inked around the outside edge of my entire card front as well. The Harmony sentiment is from the paper pack, also inked and then simply glued down, kind of tucked underneath that chipboard floral cluster there. For my card inside, I have another piece of pattern paper. This is the other half of the sheet that you see on the front. I inked the edge and then simply glued this down to the inside. I've got what looks like an old-fashioned stack of letters tied with some lace, and that's a chipboard piece. And then I've got two rub-ons, top and bottom. Now the rub-ons are really easy to use, so I'll just do a quick demo in case you are new to rub-ons or maybe haven't used one for a while. Really simple to use. Got one of the cutouts from the paper pack and then this pretty floral piece. When I cut this out from the main sheet, the main package of rub-ons, I was sure to keep both of those layers together and then just separate them only when I know that I want to use them. So I'm just going to place this down here, maybe put it down toward the corner, smooth that down. I'm going to fold up just a little corner of that plastic piece so I have something to sort of grab onto. And then all I need to do is burnish the image in place. And I'm using a bone folder for this. And I just need to apply even pressure all around here, kind of going in a circular motion. And then I'm going to take that handle that I've made or folded and just gently pull this back. Now I can see I didn't get all of that floral, so I just place it back down and burnish it again. And then I'm going to come around here, make sure I've got everything transferred, and then I've got my floral rub-on in place, ready to go. Super simple to do and a great way to add some dimension onto your cards. And you can get really nice, crisply lettered sentiments. You can also apply the image between two papers, as I've done here, and it transfers beautifully. Or, of course, blend a border onto some pattern paper for another touch of dimension. This card also uses the rub-ons as the focal as well as the background here. So my card base is a standard white hot off the press blank card, and I've used a large portion of the Roses rub-on set to create this background element here. So I didn't cut out all of the flowers individually. I just chopped out a big portion of that piece and then applied them directly to the front of the card. So it's a really nice way to get an all-over design as well as focal elements on here too. Then I've added some gold inked pattern paper. I've got a border cutout plus the cutout focal. This is popped up on some foam tape. And on the cutout, I applied the floral image and the sentiment there. Then I have some chipboard accent pieces you can see here and a bow for a little bit of texture. For the card inside, I've just applied this accent floral cluster, and then I've added overlapping a little cutout which has been inked with gold. Now, our next card features one of my favorite embossing folders, and this is the wood texture design from Hot Off the Press. Let me show you this one here. This just came together so perfectly with today's collection. It just matches beautifully. So what I've done here is use that embossing folder for this middle section of my card. I just think embossing folders are such a great way to create texture without adding a lot of bulk to your cards, which is nice, especially when you mail them. So I've got the wood grain design embossed on pattern paper, and then from there I've taken my nice inky ink pad and added some gold metallic to the raised portion of the design. So technique-wise, this is an oldie but a goodie. So let me show you here. Move aside my card and bring in just this embossing folder. Now, if you're new to embossing folders, these are fantastic. They're a great tool to have on hand. So I've got a piece of my pattern paper here, and I've trimmed this down to about the size of my folder, and I just nest this in here. So right up to the fold, place this down, and then run it through my die cutting machine. Now you do need to swap out your plates so that you've got the right sandwich, because these are a bit thicker than your dies. So you want to make sure that you've got the right plate combination in there. So check out what you need to have for your particular die cutting machine. So I've got this already run through. You can see some of the texture on there. I can leave this as is because it would be beautiful as it is, but I can also highlight some of those raised edges with my ink pad. You can use any of your ink pads for this. Dye-based ink pads will also do the trick. And what you want to do is start with a light touch at first. Again, kind of a gentle circular motion, and simply apply that ink right to your cardstock or paper, and you can see how that will bring out and enhance the design that you've embossed on your pattern paper or cardstock. So this is a great way to create even more texture and dimension on your cards. Now, this being a pigment ink pad, I do want to let that dry before I handle it. I can also give it a quick little zip zap with my heat embossing tool to speed up the dry time. I inked around the outside edges of that piece too, and then glued it to the front of my card, which has been covered with pattern paper. I grouped the chipboard elements around the word piece and then added a jute bow. And I have to say, these little chipboard pearl images are nice for kind of filling out an image and creating some movement on the front of the card. And then for the card inside, I've got some more pattern paper plus a cutout with a really nice and thoughtful sentiment that can go for lots of different card themes. Okay, I have one more card project to show you, and this one is using a new to me die. So I'm going to grab my supplies and we'll take a look. I just got a nice box of supplies from Paper Wishes, and the side pop-up card die was included, and that's what I've used to create this card. And this is a great design, especially if you like to create cards that can be put up on display because you've got some dimension. It also works really nicely in combination with chipboard elements and with cutouts because you've got kind of 3 different areas where you can add those images. Really easy to put together as well. So let me show you the die package. You can see the 2 shapes here. And then, of course, hot off the press, they're always going to give you a project idea. On the back, you've got your instructions and, very important, all of your folding diagrams. Now, this is a really easy one to fold up, so let's take a look here. I'm going to first start, of course, with my 2 metal pieces and running these through my die cutting machine. I like that hot off the press dies are solid pieces of metal rather than just an outline. This is going to give you not only your shape, it's going to give you your score lines on here as well. And because they're solid metal, they are going to last a really nice long time too. So good and sturdy dies to have in your collection. And then what you'll do is die cut your pieces. So I've got the 2 here. I've just die cut these from cardstock. And you're going to follow the diagram on the package to do your mountain folds and your valley folds. Very simple to do. And I like to use the bone folder, same one that I used for my rub-ons, just to crease those folds down really nicely and make sure that everything is crisply folded so it will lay flat when I'm decorating. So there you can see, this is the other side. And then the second piece is just a rectangle. And what you'll do with this is apply this with some glue to this inside flap. You've got this one flap that's coming along here. You're going to glue this right in there, and then it will fold up like so. When you're securing this down, I recommend you use a good sturdy adhesive, maybe like the extra sticky tape, and that's going to make sure that your card stays together and in place. But that's really as simple as it can possibly get. And then you have the fun of decorating it. So I've die cut mine from plain cardstock from the Newsprint Florals cardstock set because I thought this pink just matched the romance papers really perfectly. And on these panels, I've got snippets of pattern paper here and here. And the rest is decorated with chipboard pieces and a rub-on here right onto that cardstock piece. And then I've got a cutout, another cutout here. Everything is inked with that Midas Gold ink pad. And then for the inside, I have another cutout collection, 2 of them, plus a rub-on image here. And that is our final project of the day today. So a big thank you to our friends at Stamperia for these absolutely gorgeous papers and embellishments. And they were so much fun to work with, not only for romance themes, but lots of different other card giving occasions as well. And a special thanks to you for joining me today. We're really glad that you're here, and we're happy you're a part of the Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, see this webisode on paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.